Hi guys, and welcome to our latest news roundup from the car world. Of course, where else? First up, the all-new Honda Accord, just revealed in the US. This is the 10th generation of the 41-year-old brand. You know, I actually learned to drive on a Mark I Accord, and I've driven every generation of Accord since then. The 1986 model was particularly my favorite, particularly the one that we used to get here in the GCC with the pop-up headlights. Tell me what your favorite Accord was. Put it in the comments below or something. So this latest Accord, it gets a 10-speed automatic. That's the first time that a front-wheel drive car gets that. And it gets two new turbo engines and a hybrid, of course. It's bigger again with a longer wheelbase. In fact, rear space is up massively by 55 millimeters. They say this one's sportier, and so therefore the seating position is a bit lower, and they've tried to make the bonnet look a bit longer than normal. And what's under the bonnet? Well, you get a 1.5-litre turbo producing 192 brake horsepower, which is more than the old 2.4, but it's mated to a CVT. However, you can get it with a 6-speed manual, at least in the US you can anyway. Or you can get the 2-litre iVTEC turbo, and that puts out 253 brake horsepower and 273 pounds-foot of torque, which is more than the old V6. Now again, that's the one that comes with the 10-speed automatic, but there is a 6-speed manual available. Probably not here. Nonetheless, it's nice to see that a car manufacturer is still offering a self-shifter in a premium level saloon. Boy, I would love to give that a go. And talking of things I would love to have a go in, I'm still waiting to give the Lotus Evora 400 a full test, and I really want to get my hands on the Evora Sport 410, which by the way is here now. It's in the showroom. I've seen them. Lotus have just announced another new version of what is essentially its second generation of the Evora, although it's kind of hard to tell, but that's what it's meant to be. Now the new car is an Evora GT 430, and as the name suggests, the power has gone up to 430 brake horsepower from its Toyota-sourced supercharged 3.5-litre V6 that it's been using. Weight has gone down by 26 kilograms, so it only weighs 1,258 kilograms, which means that this, compared to the Evora Sport 410, which means that the 0 to 100 time is now well under 4 seconds, and it can get to a maximum of 305 kilometers per hour. Now just 60 of these are going to be made. There's lots of carbon, lots of aero, and it comes with a 6-speed manual. Another lovely new car from one of my absolute favorite car makers. But come on, Lotus, now that the Chinese own you, because Geely has just bought Proton, which own Lotus, so thereby they now own Lotus. Now that they own you, hurry up and give us what we've all been waiting for, a brand new Esprit. And talking of high-end luxury sports cars and grand tours, I recently reviewed the Lexus LC500H in hybrid form. It's on the website, motoringme.com, check it out. And I absolutely fell in love with the way that it looks. And again, I'm now waiting to drive the V8 version because that just sounds awesome. And I guess the guys over at Marvel have also fallen for this car, because in the new Black Panther movie, which is coming out on the 16th of February 2018, the main car to feature in it will be not an Audi. I should just stop there, because actually that's the news. I thought that the only cars that were allowed to exist in the Marvel Cinematic Universe were Audis, but no. The Black Panther will be seen certainly riding on top of a Lexus LC500, as you can see from this picture. They've also teamed up to produce a graphic novel to go with this, featuring the Black Panther and the Lexus LC500. Now that could be interesting, because I've always found that comic book illustrators struggle to draw cars properly. So I'd love to see how they get on with that. And talking of how are they getting on, well, how is the car industry getting on? Struggling, right? Down in the doldrums. Yes? Nonsense! Check this out. Lamborghini sales for the first half of 2017 are up 4%. Oh, okay, fine. Maybe that's not significant because it really accounts for 2,091 cars. Well, how about Lambo's parent company, the VAG Group's Volkswagen? Because this is a company that was mired in this diesel scandal, and you would have thought that it'd be really suffering because of all of the negative publicity and backlash against that, right? No, in fact, it delivered 5.1 million cars in the first half of this year globally. Was that an increase? Oh yeah, that was up nearly 1%. And that's not a one-off. because another manufacturer whose name also begins with V, Volvo, and this is a company which in 2009 was sold by Ford because it was losing money and it looked like it was going to go the way of its compatriot Saab into oblivion, more or less. The Chinese giant Geely, or Geely, whatever you want to call them, which has now bought Lotus, as just mentioned, they bought Volvo in 2010. Now, 7 years later, Volvo is back. Not only with some great new cars, I mean the XC90 and the S90, we reviewed them, check them out, motoringmv.com, and also on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Motoring Middle East, and they're brilliant. We love them. They're fantastic cars. In fact, we even gave the XC90 an award about a year and a half ago. But now they've got rising sales in China and in Europe, and this has resulted in profit. Yes, actual profit. They've made it, in fact, it's 21% up on the first half of last year compared to. And this company is actually heading for its 4th consecutive year of record sales. And it's not just an isolated incident there either, because in fact, according to JATO Dynamics, a great company which I used to work for, they have revealed that the overall global first quarter sales were up nearly 5% with 21.24 million cars. I don't know how you get 0.24, it's not a fraction of a car, it's a fraction of a million. So 21.24 million cars sold by March, which was up nearly a million compared to the same period in the previous year, in 2016. And sales, oddly enough, were particularly buoyant in Europe. And here's a really weird one, because Greece actually recorded the second highest growth at 38.8%. Aren't they supposed to be broke or something? Anyway, the biggest car markets, just for your interest, China, no surprise there, 6 million cars, followed by the USA, this is 4 million cars, Japan 1.5 million, and then followed by the UK and Germany at about 1 million cars each. This is again according to JATO Dynamics from the same data. Top 5 companies, car companies, during that period was the Volkswagen Group, Toyota, the Renault-Nissan Alliance, GM, and the Hyundai-Kia duo. In terms of individual brands, the top brand was Toyota. So Toyota just ahead of Volkswagen, in fact, followed by Ford, then Nissan, and then Honda. Honda probably going to do even better now with the Accord. But okay, having said all of that, the industry in our region is down. And that's confirmed by market analysis Auto Data, who've just sent out a release as well. And they confirmed that car sales in 2016, compared to the previous year, 2015, were down at 27%. So everybody figured that the only way is up for 2017, right? Yeah, no. Because Q1 this year, car sales were down 30% across the GCC on average. Although Bahrain and Saudi seem to have suffered the worst, being down 41% and 38% respectively. The UAE not so bad at 28%. It's down, but not as bad as the others. Now, those amazing Ramadan offers that we all saw, they did manage to get some foot traffic into the showrooms, according to Autodata, but sales were described as normal, so they didn't really achieve any spectacular effect there. And the dealers and the manufacturers now appear to be pinning their hopes on the fact that there's going to be an upsurge of buying interest and actual buyers before the end of this year because of VAT that's coming in next year. Now, I don't know about that, because that might be a little bit of a red herring, because there is some talk that a lot of dealers and manufacturers might just absorb that 5%, or for a lot of people 5% isn't going to make a lot of interest. However, it's a psychological thing, and if you market it right, then maybe you will get a lot more people going, oh yeah, I better buy my car now before it gets even more expensive next year. So, is the market going to bounce back? Well, I mean, Autodata says, and I agree with them on this, that this is not a downturn for the industry. This is a normalization or a market correction, as they call it. And the maybe slightly good news is that they reckon that we've hit the baseline. So this is it. This is where we should settle now. But the thing is that the industry and the dealers and everybody has to understand is that they must stop waiting with bated breath for the big rebound into the boom times that we used to have here in the Middle East, because that ain't happening. This is the new normal. This is where we're going to be. This is what you have to work with. Growth, according to Autodata, growth isn't predicted until 2019, and then only by 5%. So That means as a dealer, as a car manufacturer, you need to get out there now. You need to get aggressive. You need to get back to marketing and advertising in order to sell your cars and shift your stock. That's going to be the only way. And by the way, with all the emphasis on so-called influencer marketing over the last 12 to 18 months, and yet car sales being down 30%, I guess it's fair to assume that that hasn't really worked out, has it? So let's be blunt. Maybe the auto industry and the marketing and the PR, they need to be talking to the real influencers again. People like us. Anyway, more news updates soon. I hope you enjoyed that and found that useful and informative. Please follow us on motoringme.com and on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. Just search for Motoring Middle East. And you can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter and Snapchat. Please do. That would be nice. See you there. See you in the next one.